is rumor. And don't worry, I'm not pulling this old bit again, but I got you last time, didn't I? Today, though, I thought I would try something a little different, something I've never done before, and that is doing a tarot reading for dolls. I know. It's a quite different thing for me who was never even into dolls historically, and I do need to follow up sometime with a video properly introducing my newly started collection and offering some backstory on how I've become a convert in this respect. But I will save that for a later date, because today is just about getting in the spooky feels of spooky season and wanting to invite a couple of my dolls to the tarot table for a Halloween reading, or should I say Dolloween. Oh. All right, enough of this. I'll try to get into a more professional mode and take this over to the tarot table if you will kindly join us there. Okay, and here we are at the tarot table. I've got my deck all ready as my clients wait in the green room, so to speak. I can tell they're a bit freaked out about getting a tarot reading. This is the first time for both of them, and I'm hoping that the experience will dispel any of the fears that they have that have probably been programmed in them by society, because, you know, tarot tends to get a bad rap out there in movies and narrow-minded attitudes and so forth. So we'll see how today goes. They're obviously very excited since they're already in their Halloween costumes. In any case, I just was leaving them waiting outside for a bit so that I could just attune to the cards, take a moment to meditate and get in the zone I need to be in to do the reading. And so I will do that now. And there it is, in the zone. And now here we all are, where my clients have been summoned to the table. And I use the term clients loosely because I am not a professional tarot reader, only doing readings for friends and family, and not that often at that. Normally just reading for myself. So it's always fun to have this kind of opportunity in the spirit of play, and doing a Halloween themed spread always sets the right mood. And it seems like that's what these gals are here for. So I have asked them to just silently think of their question. If they have anything in particular in mind, this can also just serve as a general reading for them too, though. I will be speaking to their cards in a general manner, and they can interpret it in the context of their situations as they so wish. So to start, I will shuffle the cards and then lay out a 3-card spread for each of them. Now I have shuffled and asked each of these ladies to please cut the deck so that I may lay out their 3 cards, each getting their own spread, as I mentioned. And now, instead of addressing you, the viewer here, I will be addressing them, my querents. Now, girls, the spread that I have laid before each of you today is a trick-or-treat spread in which the first card to the far left, your left, is the trick. The second card to the right, your right, is the treat. And the third card that is closest to you is the takeaway. So the trick is a challenge, an obstacle that is facing you right now. And again, if you have a specific question in mind, this will be regarding that situation. But if you are just coming in open to whatever general message might come through, this is just a sort of challenge or obstacle to bear in mind for right now. But on the plus side is that the treat in this spread is something that is in your favor. Maybe it's something to look forward to. It's something that you've got going for you now. It's something that can help you overcome this obstacle. So the takeaway is basically the candy that you can take away in your goodie bag, coming in the form of advice, just something to bear in mind as this situation plays out, keeping in mind what your obstacles are, but what is going in your favor and how you can maybe negotiate that going forward, if that makes any sense. And hopefully it'll be clearer as we go through and do the reading. Sutton, we'll start with you. What I didn't mention before is that I will not be reading with reversals, just in the interest of keeping this more straightforward, especially since it's your first time receiving a tarot reading. But what I am seeing here, in the first position, the trick, the obstacle or challenge that you're facing in whatever situation you might be contemplating, it's judgment. So this is something significant in your life. This is big picture. This is something to do with you trying to find your calling in life. And maybe it has been tricky trying to determine what exactly that is. That's something that a lot of us have a difficult time finding clarity on. But the treat here in your case is the King of Swords, which means that you have the ability to find the clarity on this. You have a very level head about you, and you're able to sort of check your emotions at the door, weighing what your options might be here and getting clear on what it is that really calls to you, what pulls you forward, what are the things that bring you joy in life, and anything in the past that you might feel like could have been mistakes. Don't look at it that way. We all learn from everything that we experience, you know, we grow from that. And that's a message that judgment brings to us as well. We can forgive ourselves for any missteps and just always be advancing onward and upward. And so the King of Swords could be someone else in the situation, but in this case, I think it is you and the qualities that you possess. And so you absolutely have the wherewithal to remain level and clear-headed in determining what your way forward is from here. So now, funnily enough, that is very positive. That's why it's the treat. But then when we look at what your takeaway is, what you're bringing with you in your goodie bag, we've got the Ten of Wands, and you can see from the picture there, you don't have to be an experienced tarot reader to be able to tell that that guy is carrying quite a bundle of sticks, or wands, if you will. And he seems to be bent over with the labor of it, with the weight of it. Perhaps he's even struggling, but he's got his goal in mind, and nothing worthwhile is ever easy, right? So this does indicate that this is going to be a challenge for as rational-minded as you might be, as clear as you might have it in your head, what it is that you think your ultimate purpose is. There's going to be work involved. You've got to put the effort into it then to actually make it happen. And this guy, he's bowed under the weight of it, but he is still advancing. He is still walking. It's just one step at a time. So just stay the course and just keep going. So I hope that that makes any sense for you and what you might have come to my table today for. We can definitely talk more after this session if you want to go any deeper with this reading. But until then, Ariel, it's time to take a look at your cards. Well, given you're a water sign, I'm not surprised to see that the realm of emotion is reflected in your first card here, being the Five of Cups as your trick, the challenge or obstacle that you're facing at this time. And you can see this figure is looking very downcast and sad. There may be something that you are grieving, maybe some sort of regrets that you hold. Whatever it is, something has got your emotions down, or at least does from time to time. If you do find that this is something recurring, I don't know if there's another question that you're contemplating, but this could do with leaving the Mer world for land, That's a big transition, giving up your fishtail for human legs to live a human life. And it's not to say this wasn't the right decision for you, but that doesn't mean you can't look back from time to time and miss the life you used to lead. Bear in mind, if you look closer at that card, there are 3 cups that have tipped over and drained their contents, and that's what the figure in the card is lamenting, the loss of that. But then if they look behind them, there are 2 cups that still stand upright. That's what you still have to hold on to. So to get through those low moments, do feel what you feel, but remember too that there is always something that is not lost, the blessings to bear in mind in any given situation. So that's your challenge, unfortunately, my dear. But then the treat of it is the Emperor. Now, this is a major arcana card. This is the patriarch of the tarot deck, essentially. And our watery emotions can kind of let things ebb and flow. And sometimes we do need to do that, but then that water can indeed spill over. And so embracing your Emperor energies is about keeping your head above the water, having a solid anchor, and thinking of what that is for you in your life. It could indeed be a sort of father figure that you look to. This Emperor could be King Triton, your father, who remains steadfast in your life. As you know, he wasn't happy at first when you wanted to become a human and live on land, but eventually he came around to see how much it meant to you, and overall, he loves you more than anything and just wants you to be happy. So you know that you can still see him and rely on him anytime, even if it's just at the surface of the water. And again, just that sense of stability and assertiveness within you can help you to navigate through those uncertain waters. And your takeaway is the 5 of Swords, which is not always an easy card to see. We see a guy in the foreground grinning kind of smugly. He seems to have defeated the others and taken their swords, but there is kind of hollow victory in that. You get a sense that he might have quote unquote won this time around, but maybe it's not as fulfilling as he expected. So just be mindful of how you are approaching this situation. If this is in relation to your transition from the sea to the land, it could be the lesson that you've learned about making deals with sea witches. What you had to give up was more than just your life in the sea. You initially had to give your voice. And as we all know now in this day and age, no woman should have to give her voice for a man. You loved Prince Eric. I get it. And maybe you would do it all over again. But I feel like this card cautions you to just keep in mind that sometimes we have to watch what we wish for. You know, be sure to read that fine print and consider all consequences before making the action in the first place. But if you are really harnessing that Emperor energy, maybe you don't want to be too firm within it. Because one of those figures in the background that kind of looks a bit downcast, maybe even crying, it reminds me a lot of that figure in the 5 of Cups card. So you don't want to overlook that either. You definitely don't want to be too hard on yourself for feeling what you feel. Don't should on yourself, you could say, by thinking, well, I'm supposed to be this, I'm supposed to be that, I'm supposed to be in perfect control of my life at all times, as the Emperor energy kind of implies. You don't want to put that much pressure on you. I mean, it's great to know that you have this quality within you, or might identify it in others who can offer the stability in your life. But don't let that completely trample over your legitimate feelings, because those are valid, and sometimes we just have to move through grief to get through to the other side. So it really is just something to balance, and try not to get in your head too much about it. Just keep mediating the thoughts and emotions as they come. I know this was kind of a harsh reading for you, but I hope it is something that you needed to hear and does help you remember all that is good and great in your life, because that Emperor could also be Prince Eric, next in line to be king, and your happy life with him. Like I said to Sutton, I am more than happy to talk with you further on this. We can even draw more cards and just go deeper with it. And if you want to let me know any specifics, then we'll just take it from there. Okay, so I am out of my zone now, and I want to thank my lovely Querents here for participating in this fun Dolloween activity, and we hope that you all enjoyed it as well. Maybe one of those readings resonated with you too. That is always a possibility, and that would be a lovely synchronicity in that case. Thank you so much for joining me here as always, and please leave any thoughts you have about this reading in the comments. If you would have interpreted things differently and have any messages to pass on to our lovely Querents, that would be fantastic. And I would love to hear what Halloween spreads you are using this spooky season. I love hearing what everyone else has been up to. It just adds to the communal spirit of fun here. So thank you again, my dearies, and until next time, bye-bye.